NRL finals, let's talk about it, boys. So Friday, 7:50, this is all on K, you can get it. Sydney time, Storm v Bulldogs on Friday, 7:50. Saturday, 4 p.m, Sydney time, Warriors v Panthers. Saturday night, 7:50 Sydney time, Sharks v Roosters. And then Sunday, to wrap it up, Sydney time, 4:05, Raiders v Broncos. We'll start from the top, Storm v Bulldogs. Interestingly, I reckon the Storm are probably, look, not happy they got the Bulldogs, but if you're a Storm team that's down on confidence, and then on the flip side as well, if you're a Bulldogs team down on confidence, I reckon they'd be granted, I reckon the Storm would probably rather land like maybe a Warriors or a Sharks, but like without that, you know, being able to land those two specific games, I reckon they're kind of both probably pretty happy that they're going up against a team that's probably not got that much confidence. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, for sides that finish second and third, neither of them are coming into the finals with major confidence or any form or any of that sort of thing, and both have a few excuses, but I think you're right. I think the Doggies in particular, like, I feel like internally they'd have belief, and it feels like that at the club this year. They go, you know, people are still doubting, saying, you know, we can't go all the way. I reckon the Doggies are sitting there going, you know, yeah, we can. Like, we've got everything we need, and we're the best defensive side in the competition, and that's what wins games of finals footy and premierships. And they will go into this game as underdogs, and it's a Storm outfit missing Jerome Hughes. Pappenhausen had his head knocked. Like, they're under strength. They're down on confidence, and the Dogs will be going, beautiful, we're still not expected to win this game. Why can't we go down there and win this?
Nothing to lose, really.
Essentially nothing to lose, which is weird for a team that's had such a great year and finished third, but that's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Anything on that quickly?
Yeah, well, they I was just going to say the Dogs pushed the Storm down there a couple of weeks ago, and probably since that point, the Dogs are probably fitter on paper than the Storm are now. So maybe there's a bit of confidence to be had there. I don't think the Dogs, though, have really gelled or clicked with this new kind of spine. So Storm are $1.49, favourites at home.
Okay.
Tough to beat down there. Dogs, $2.64.
There's value there, $2.60 on the Dogs.
There's value everywhere.
Yeah. Matty, just quickly before we go to the next game.
Yeah. It's funny, the Dogs, like, I think this season, it's obviously been a tale of two halves, and I have no doubt that after a full preseason, they're going to click next year, and they're going to be a force next year. I reckon early prediction, I reckon they'll be in the top four next year, but I hope they prove me wrong, because I love seeing the Dogs win, but the evidence that we've got in the last few weeks, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next game. Panthers must be, and look, yes, you are going to play the Warriors in New Zealand, which is a tough one, but Panthers have, in regards to like nailing, making certain decisions to like land at the right spot, of course they'd want to get 2 bites of the cherry, but to land Warriors, I reckon the Panthers are pretty happy with that. And the Warriors, like, it really is nothing to lose. Like, no one is going to give the Warriors an opportunity here. You're at home. It's a really good opportunity to ambush the Premiers. Like, a really good opportunity. You've got nothing to lose.
It's incredible the importance of mentality in sport, Kempy, that, you know, you'd know far better than I would, whether you're going into games, playing for something or not, or whatever it might be. And like, I even used the Broncos and Storm on the weekend as an example. Like, yes, things went wrong for the Storm. They had injuries and whatnot, but the Broncos were playing for top 4.
Yeah.
The Storm were playing for nothing at the end of the day. And in this game, you're right, like, if the Warriors bow out week 1 of finals, they'll be devastated at what's happened and how it's unfolded after being almost locked to the top 4. But you're right, they've got nothing to lose in front of home fans. They'll give it everything they've got. They'll shake this game up and the Panthers up. Panthers have still got everything to lose. Like, you know, they were last at round 12, whatever it was, but they're coming in firm favourites, and they'd be sitting there going, and they're rested, going, we should come out and win this game, which is so exciting for the Warriors to go, let's ambush them, but we're ambushing them in New Zealand.
Yeah. Just 80-minute performance. Yeah. I mean, you look at the Origin this year, sorry to bring it up, but like, teams have done more with far less than the Warriors right now. They've done more with far less, and it's a real opportunity at home to just come out and somehow, some way knock the Premiers out, or the reigning Premiers.
Yeah, I don't know if they're...
I don't know if they're up to it, but it's an opportunity to happen.
It is an opportunity to happen, for sure. They've lost 5 of their last 7, and one that they won was against the Dragons over there. I'd say probably the Dragons were the better team over there in New Zealand. They're $3.50, the Warriors. Panthers $1.31.
Wow.
They're very short. I think
$3.50.
the Panthers is just one of these teams, doesn't matter whether it's this week or any other week in the finals, they're just a team you don't want to play. I think they've... they started the season obviously very badly, but they've really set themselves for this. Yes, a couple of close losses to other top 4 teams, but they've refreshed guys. They're kind of getting back into their workloads as they hit the finals. So I think it's going to be a tough outing for the Warriors over there.
Yeah. Now onto the Panthers side, it's all just about being clinical, really. But like they've done it so many times. That's the scary thing about facing the Panthers in any of these games leading up to the grand finals. Like this is like second nature almost to them. They've done it so many times. They know exactly what is required to get the job done. The only question with the Panthers is how do they look without Luai and Fish in these big games, because they're such an important part of it, but also just some of these rookies that haven't played finals footy, because there's like a sprinkling of rookies throughout the side that haven't played much finals footy, and it can just take one or two bad games from rookies to cost you a finals game. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm backing the Panthers to win, but that's probably the only question. People just assume because they're the Panthers that every single player has 4 final series worth of experience, when it's changed so much that that's actually not the case.
Yeah, and you're right. They'll go over their business as usual. They won't be flustered by anything, but that's easy to say, but also there's inexperience on an entire edge. You've got Blaze Talangi, you got Casey McLean, and then you've got Tom Jenkins, who I don't think any of these guys would have played finals footy, right?
No,
probably not.
Mate, Casey McLean, maybe?
Yeah,
He might have
played
played
last
a
year.
couple of games last year. It's
Yeah,
like
he played. He went through.
Yeah,
Case was clean.
McLean went through.
Yep.
That they've got a whole edge. He's still 19 years old or something.
Yep.
A very experienced edge. So the Warriors are going to see opportunities there. And they said maybe it's Penrith. They'll probably stand up to it and handle the occasion, but two of them are untested. So there's opportunity there for the Warriors.
Well, for example, if your game plan isn't run at Blaze Talangi a lot for the first 10 minutes just to see where his head's at, I mean, that's crazy.
And if he misses one early and lets it
just
not
don't
even
know.
try through a line break through, who knows what it does to his headspace for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Under the cauldron with all those Kiwis down there yelling at you like it.
And he is a Kiwi too. So,
Yeah.
I was thinking of Casey McLean. Apologies. Yep.
It's an intense place to have your first finals game for Blaze Talangi.
Yeah. Is Blaze Talangi Samoan? Is he a Kiwi as well, Samoan? Samoan. So, look, I do back the Panthers to get the job done. But if I'm from the Warriors' perspective, I'm just going, guys, we've got 80 minutes to do something. Don't worry about the rest of the finals. Who gives a shit about the rest of the final series? This game, we've got 80 minutes to do something special. Panthers, they just got to, I know it sounds silly to say, but just stay calm and go through the process. It's that's really, and that's what they will do. That's what they're known for. Okay, now quickly onto the Sharks v Roosters. Funny, if you had asked me this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have said, mate, Roosters will blow them off the park. But, mate, the Sharks, we'll get into in the review, but they looked good. I think Hines will get downgraded. I think they'll be fine. I think this will be a cracking match.
It's going to be a ripper. And I don't have a clue it's going to happen, especially because
50-50
as we
for me.
recall, we don't know about Nico Hines.
Yeah.
But,
It's a coin flip for me, this game.
yeah, I think the Roosters have the superstars and the strike power. 1-17, I think the Sharks are probably better balanced. I have no idea who's going to win this game of footy.
Mate, I'm with you. It's genuinely whoever turns up for the big game, really. It's going to be, it's a coin flip. What do you reckon, Amy?
Yeah, the Sharks. I initially thought the Roosters, just because their best footy is good enough to mix it with any team, I think. Can they? I don't know if they can win the whole combo. I don't think they'll have, as we discussed on the show last week, can they play like that 4 weeks in a row? I don't think so. Look, I'm still with them here, but the Sharks have won 7 of their last 8 games. They're kind of flown under the radar a little bit, really. If Nico gets off, it's at their home ground, which the Roosters don't want to be at. They reckon it should be at a bigger ground. 231, the Sharks. The Roosters are $1.60. I think the Roosters are going to be a little bit too good. I can see them winning probably two or three finals in this campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, if Nico, assuming he plays, I reckon I'm with you. I think it's a coin flip, but I think it comes down to the Roosters, because I think the Roosters can win. They don't have to put 80 minutes in. They could take a game away from you in 30 or 40 minutes. I don't think they've been consistent in games pretty much all year, the Roosters. Even on the weekend, at half time, I thought Souths were actually in it. Second half, they just absolutely wiped the floor with us. That's just what the Roosters can do. So I think a lot of it is going to come down to how long can the Roosters put good footy together for? Because they could win by 20, but I can also see the Sharks winning. So it's a tough game to pick.
Okay, now for, in my opinion, the blockbuster of the weekend, and maybe I'm biased, but it's the Rays versus the Broncos, 4 or 5 p.m. Sydney time on Sunday. I will say, and look, I understand Ricky's thought process. As much break as possible, I get it. But I've got to be honest, Sunday Arvo, I feel like if there's one slot you won't want the Broncos on, it's a dry track on a Sunday Arvo. I'm a little bit surprised that Ricky Stewart didn't say, let's get them down here on a Saturday night, freezing, fucking shit conditions and just take them into the grind. What are your thoughts, Jimmy?
Agreed on the time slot. I'm like, I prefer to play in the dewy conditions on Saturday night in the cold. So Sunday is meant to be sunny and beautiful and dry, and that just horrifies me with Reece Walsh and what he's doing at the moment. Oh, what a great find. What a game of footy. Like, just such contrasting styles of footy. You've got this, let's call it the arrogance coming out of Red Hill of the Broncos. And, you know, I don't even think that's a bit loose to say, because you see the way they play their footy. They play with arrogance.
Yep.
And when they score tries, when they get up and about, and when, you know, they make, there was a few, the Reece Walsh tackle on the weekend, and they're up and they're in, that's arrogance.
Yep.
And that is what the Brisbane Broncos do, and they have that. The Raiders are this, world's against us.
Old school, kind of.
Old school. Who's going to come out on top? Like, my heart obviously says the Raiders. My head says I think the Raiders, that old school tough mentality will be enough. But as you said, mate, a dry track and what Reece Walsh is doing at the moment. If Reece Walsh lights up, I don't think there's probably a team in the NRL that can stop him when he's on.
Yeah. Yeah, if they have a Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas, Benny Hunt, Walsh light up, geez, that'll be tough to go with. I will say, though, that like if the Broncos are on, if there's one team that has a forward pack to physically go with them, it's the Raiders. So, again, this for me, it's a coin flip. It's a 50-50. Obviously, the Raiders will be favourites, but it's a coin toss for me, and I think it's going to be an absolute... That first 20 minutes is going to be brutal.
Yeah, I reckon I'm with you. This is the game of the round for me as well. Josh Papali'i, whether he's in or out, makes probably a fairly significant difference in the price and the chances of the Raiders. I reckon they got the best pack in the comp, especially with him in it. They are $1.69 at home. The Broncos $2.18. They were about $2.30 yesterday, the Broncos, so they've come in a little bit. But I reckon this will be the closest match of the weekend. Two, similar but different styles, You've got the exciting, the flashy flair of the Broncos, and then obviously the Raiders just don't make mistakes. Just, get up for the fight. It'll be a great game.
I don't feel personally that it's a coin toss.
Okay.
I feel like the Raiders at home, Brisbane travelling all the way down to Canberra, being sellout stadium. The Raiders haven't put a foot wrong this season. We've got a really good forward pack, touch wood, but we've had a good run of injuries. I know Brisbane probably not too bad either, but you then throw in the wild card that is Reece Walsh, who, all right, what if things don't go to plan and passes hit the deck or there's a few drop balls? The Broncos can absolutely win, and it's going to be a corker. I don't think it's a coin toss, though.
Raiders only lost one game at home this year, and that was that Bulldogs one.
I feel like coin toss is a bit harsh on the Raiders from what they've done this year.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe it's my bias coming in.
Stop being so biased, mate.
I think it's a coin toss because I think the Broncos at their best are better than the Raiders at their best. But the Raiders have played at an 8.5, 9 out of 10 for quite a while. But it's probably my bias. It's probably the fact that Broncos are my team, and maybe I want them in. What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, I can't wait for this game. I reckon this will be one of the most watched finals games in a while, I reckon. I really hope this is the grand final because it's just, they're so different. It's such an interesting game. I'm tipping the Raiders, but I am putting no confidence in that at all. I reckon it's going to be an absolute thriller. Every rusted rugby league fan in Australia is going to be watching this game. It is just an absolute classic. And as I said on Friday, I know I wasn't watching rugby league in the 90s, but like the rugby league world got robbed in the 90s of no Raiders Broncos grand final. Man, I hope it happens this year.
Like, I have to be honest. I know that these two teams aren't going to like hearing this. I think it would be good for the game if Storm wasn't in the grand final, Panthers in the grand final. It's just
add Roosters to that as well, mate.
Okay, even you could go Roosters as well. Honestly, I go even further than that. Like, if it's like Warriors Bulldogs, like I think that would be fucking hectic for the game.
Even look at week one of finals. How heavily supported are the underdogs in 3 of the 4 games going to be? Like Doggy Storm. Except for obviously Storm fans and the odd person who hates the doggies. So like probably maybe Parramatta Eel Sports or something. Everyone's going for the Dogs.
Yeah.
Warriors Panthers.
Everyone's
going for the Warriors. Sharks Roosters. I would say a very large amount are going for the Sharks.
Yep.
Raiders Broncos.
50.
Everyone's going for the Raiders.
50-50. No, everyone's going for the Raiders. But yeah, so like, don't get me wrong, I love the yarns in the Storm and the Panthers. Obviously, 6 grand finals in a row is insane. But anyway, mate, can't wait. That's the NRL finals, how it all lines up.